He's a full-time architect trainer at Greater Lexington. He is actually in school for web programming. He is like amazing, and you're going to see a lot more of him because he's going to be bringing some classes to teach you how to do all kinds of fun things to your website, and he can answer questions for you and guide you in the best practices of that. He's got lots of tips and tricks, and so when you see him and you see advertisements for him coming soon on other classes, you definitely want to tune in because he's teaching all of us quite often on some of this fun stuff. So David, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
I feel like I'm a radio host because you can't see everybody. I'm like, David, are you there? I'm gonna get a radio voice. So
where's my intro music?
I know. Well, I could try to sing for you, but then everybody would hang up. So so I'm not gonna do that. But thanks for coming to teach us today. I'm gonna let you have it. We're here to back you up with questions and help you if you need it. But I know you've got good control of what you're teaching because you've taught me a lot. So thank you.
No problem. I'll do my best. I am studying, but I'm still kind of a beginner. So for all of you web developers out here, don't laugh too much at me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And just kind of as an introduction to the websites, this can be a really complicated thing. It could be a very simple thing. It really depends on your tech ability, your tech skills. And so I want to kind of start out with the basics, and then we can move on to a little bit more details, a little bit more complicated things. I'm going to try and put a lot of things in a Google Drive maybe that I can share with people, so you can copy and paste some of the stuff we talked about in your personal KW websites. To start off, I just wanted to share, when talking about websites, I work with a lot of agents in our market center. We've got close to, I don't know, 180 to 200 agents, I can't remember here. So I've worked with a lot of people to help them get their website together. And a lot of these agents, they want really, really complicated things. They want all of these different features. They want all of these, moving images and all this cool stuff. And honestly, if you have the resources to do that, that's great. It's really, really neat. But really when it comes down to it, it's what is going to bring value to you. And so that's what you need to focus on. Just think about yourself and think about your business and think about how much business have you brought in the past year from your website alone. And if the answer is 0, then you may not want to focus so much attention on this. And the great thing about Command and the great thing about what we have here is that it's free to use, and it looks professional, and it does what it needs to do. And so it's, especially if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of business going on right now, this is a great opportunity for you to have just something to send people to, because let's be honest, it's 2020. If you don't have a website in your business by now, people are going to wonder what's going on. And I just wanted to further prove that point, I wanted to show you probably the most visited web page in the entire world is Google, and this is what it looks like. It's just a lot of white space, just simple things. And so that's kind of what people are moving towards now, clean, simple websites. So let's get started here. When you're building a website, what you're going to do is you're going to come down here. This is a consumer widget. So we'll click on that, and this is going to get you to a page that has a lot of different aspects of what you can do as far as the sites goes. Now, if I click on site and app settings here, you can click right here and learn more with Kelly Guides. And this is basically how you start out. This is how you're going to start the website and get a lot of the details in right at the beginning. And it'll kind of give you a framework of how that's going to work and what it's going to look like and things like that. So learn more with Kelly Guides. We're going to click on agent site. We're going to hit continue. Scroll down and click get started, acknowledge and continue. If you had a place your site before, it may ask you what you want to pick. And you're going to want to just go with the KW website. We don't want to pay money for these things. All right, so this is on the side here, on this left side, is you're going to see basically what the home page of your website is going to look like. One of the first things that you're going to pick is your subdomain. So, and that I know I'm not a real estate agent, so I don't know all of the intricacies of how this works, but I know that there are some requirements about what you can put on your website, what you can put on your Facebook page. So if in doubt, you may want to reach out to your broker as to what you can put in your subdomain. I know in Kentucky, they just passed, or the KREC has made some new regulations. And so you want to be careful to follow all the regulations as far as your URL goes. But the subdomain, this is where you're going to pick the name of what people are going to type in to go to your website. Now, all of these are subdomains of the KW.com. So Keller Williams owns KW.com, and all of our pages are part of the KW.com. So when you pick the subdomain, this one, for example, is KWGL, which is Keller Williams Greater Lexington. It's going to be kwgl.kw.com. So if anybody wants to go to my website, that's what they're going to pick. You'll probably want to pick something unique. If your name is Joe Smith, that may be taken. So you may have to edit it here and there to get a domain that hasn't been taken. A lot of people, they ask me, they say, I've purchased the domain through GoDaddy or whatever other website. Google has domains that you can buy as well. And they have, so my name is David Hatton, they have davidhatton.com, and they want to use that. That's something you absolutely can do. Basically what you do is you would do a forwarding of that domain. So when people type in davidhatton.com, it will just push them to this kw.com website, and they won't know the difference. And so you can keep all of your business cards the same. You can keep all of your media, your signs the same. You don't have to change that. It will just push them over to this new subdomain without them knowing the difference. And that's beneficial in a lot of ways on its own. And the only cost to getting a domain is usually it's $1 a month. It's like $12 a year. So it's nothing crazy. So that's the first thing you're going to need to decide is what is your subdomain name going to be? Once you've decided, once you've put it in, gotten any permissions you need to get, you can click confirm domain. I already have, so I'm not going to again. And you're good to go there. So any questions so far? We look like we're all right. Okay.
You're good.
Good. All right, so we've confirmed our domain. Now, if you look here, marketing profile information, I don't know if this has been covered in previous classes, I assume so. And if you have a tech ambassador, a tech trainer, they've probably showed a lot of this to you as well. But the benefit of having that marketing profile filled out and complete is that you don't have to do this part, and every page that you make in your website is going to pull from that marketing profile. So you're not finding yourself typing in the same information, putting in the same photos over and over and over again. So if you look in here, it just kind of goes through all of the different items in your marketing profile. They're not all going to be put on the website, but this is kind of where the information is going to come from for other pages on your website. Okay. Now, let's hit save and continue there. Now, you have a theme, and I believe it really only affects the KW on the side, just what color that is. They may have more intricacies as we go on, but that's what I found that it controls. Right here we have find your dream home. That's your homepage text. You could change that text to be whatever you want it to be. Now, one cool feature that it has is you have this big image in the background, and this is you'll find that when you go to more modern websites, this is a pretty common theme. They have one big fixed image in the backgrounds with bright text over top of it with a slight. Sorry, I'm getting phone calls. Turn my phone down. With kind of a dimmed out background, and it kind of makes the image, the text in the front pop. So this is a pretty common theme that you'll see. But what's cool about this one is you actually have options to put multiple photos. So these are stock images, and they're actually pretty good. So you can see over here on the side, you can even preview what they're going to look like on the background there. So you can use these ones if you want, and it's a image carousel. So it scrolls through these images on the background of your homepage. You can remove them. So if I hit the garbage can here, and you can click right here, upload, to upload more images. Now, one thing to pay attention to is there are recommended sizes. If you add photos that are not these recommended sizes, you may find that they don't size right. So especially, you know, web pages, you'll see them on a computer screen, you'll see them on a phone. And obviously a computer screen is wide and a phone is small. And so this all can affect what the web page looks like depending on what product you're looking at. So you want to keep that in mind when you're adding photos. You want to make sure you're adhering as best as you can to this image guideline. And if not, if you put just an image in the background that doesn't really have a focal point, it's maybe a pattern, then it doesn't really matter what image size you have, because whether the screen is big or small, you'll just have a pattern in the background, and nothing will be cut off or nothing will be missing. Another thing to notice is that you can only upload 5 images max. You can have 5 images, 4, 3, 2, or 1. It's up to you. What you put on there. And what the supported images are JPEG and PNG. So there are other file formats that you can use, but they won't work. So you'll need to find a converter, or you'll need to have, you know, pick another image, really. Okay, so let me open up this chat menu so I can see if any questions are popping up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue there. Now, the first place that it brings you to, this is going to be, the page title is company profile. So what you'll find is in the Kelly Guide, if you've never set up a website before, it's going to take you through 3 basic pages. Okay, there's going to be a company profile, an about me, and something else. We'll check and see what it is. But what it's doing is it's giving you these 3 basic pages kind of as a starter. And it's really all you need to have the website. So with company profile, for example, you know, if you're an individual agent, you may not even need or want a company profile. It's up to you. But you could put information about yourself as an agent or about, you know, what you've done. But keep in mind, there's going to be an about me page later. And so you may want to just put all of that info there. So you can change a few things over here. You can add an SEO description, and that's really when people search for realtors in Google, that's going to put them at the top of the list. Honestly, in this day and age with so many websites out there, this really isn't going to make any difference unless you're paying a ton of money. And even then, it may not make a huge difference. So I wouldn't worry too much about what you put in the SEO description. But you can change the content in here. So if you look at the basic structure, you've got the hero image, the city, you've got the basic company profile. So you'll probably want to change that to something else, whatever you want that to be. Quick description, it tells you exactly what you're going to do, and you'll edit that in the content on the side here. Okay, you can change the images. You can change all of this info here. If you don't want it, just hit the skip button. We'll move on to the next. So we have about me. So you'll want to put a picture of yourself there. This will pull right from your bio. So it's pretty much done. Once you've gotten to this point, you're good to go, and you can go ahead and hit continue, and you've got your about me page. But since I already have one, I'm just going to hit skip again. And then the last one, contact us. The contact us page, just a simple contact us page. One cool thing about the contact page, and you'll find that this is going to be on all of your agent site pages, you'll have a contact me form. And the great thing about it is it links directly to your commands. So if somebody goes to your website and they fill that out, it will add a new contact in commands, and it'll add whatever information they put in there to their timeline. to the contact cards timeline. So it's really, really great. And this can be useful in a lot of ways. You know, forwarding people to this website, if you're doing events or if you're trying to gather information for particular things, it can be super useful. Navigation right here, this is basically what order do you want the pages to appear on your website. So there's going to be a drop-down menu, and we'll see it in a second, and it'll show what pages are on your website. So here's where you can kind of order them however you want to. Okay. Content, again, this is where you can change the contact. You can change contact us to whatever you want. The body paragraph. This is what you can change, and then you're good to go. So then you hit save and continue. Once you do that, you have a website built. It's done, and you can start sending that link to people, and I'll show you that in a second. There was one other thing that I wanted to show you that I don't think I brought up. Let me go back and see if I can, right here. This is called the URL slug. If you go to any website, you're going to see these. And this is basically telling you where you are in that web page. Even if you look here at the top, we've got console.command.kw.com. That's the main site. Then you have this slug that says command, then a slug that says Kelly Guides, and a slug that says agent sites in 3. So that right there is basically just going to change what is on the back of the URL, and these last parts after the slashes. So a lot of people have asked me, what is the slug and what do I need to put there? It's really up to you. Just you want something descriptive as to where they are, and that's really all that's important. So don't worry too much about that. Most people don't even notice that or see it. So if you're ever wondering what that is, then that's what it is. So any questions so far about the website builder? I think we're okay. Just if anybody wants to jump out at me and ask me any more questions, then that's fine.
Good. You're doing good.
All right. So I'm just going to close this out because I already have mine built up. Okay. Now we have, if you look at my agent site page, I've got a ton of them here. Just a few things to note. With this little eyeball here, if it's gray, that means it's not a live site. If it's blue, then it is a live site. And you can actually click on these and you can go see a preview of what they're going to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in. So imagine that we've had those 3 sites that we just created through our Kelly Guide done. One thing to note, it may take a little while for the site to be officially created, maybe 15 minutes, and maybe a little bit longer. I've seen longer, I've seen shorter. But once it's ready, you will see your configured agent site here, and then you click on this. So we can click on that and we can see what the home page is going to look like. There's a Find Your Dream Home. There's that background image. From your marketing profile, it'll have your logos there, your image there, things like that. So this is the basic format of what the site looks like. And then right here, we have your agent, we have the drop-down menu, and we've got all of the different sub-pages that, like I said, you can adjust however you want it to be done. One other thing to notice, and this is from your marketing profile, if you put in links to your social media platforms, those will also appear under this bar. So if you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, these things, and you add them to that marketing profile, you'll see a list of them underneath this bar. So that's kind of neat. A lot of people, they wanted to put their social media in this main part, but it's really unnecessary. You could just add it to your marketing profile. Okay, so we have the 3 basic sites, and let's say that we want to add something new to our website. Well, what we'll do is we'll create a new site, and then we'll click on My Agent Site. Now, as a standalone page, this is going to be for landing pages, and I think that's, am I correct in assuming that's going to be covered next?
Yes. So
Okay.
Next at noon, it is not a part of this class, so it is a separate login. So if anybody and I know that may seem a little strange to everybody, but we had different things already standing, and so I will put the link for the login for the next class that starts at noon with Josh, and we're going to be doing landing pages. So
Okay.
it'll talk all about that. Landing pages are really awesome. So.
So I won't go too much into the landing pages, but I will say that if you want to know what the basic difference is On My Agent site is a page that's going to be directly linked to your website. So it's going to be content that you want on your website that's not really going to change too often. You probably don't want to make an event page on your agent site, because once that event's over, you're going to have to take it down. So you're going to constantly be changing things on your agent site. And as we all know, and I'll probably show you in a bit, it's a little bit difficult when you're editing these site pages. It's not as simple as doing a landing page. So landing pages for things that are temporary, maybe an open house, or maybe if you just want to make information about a particular listing that you have, that's what you would use this for, and you can turn it off or delete it as soon as it's over. So with that being said, let's go to On My Agent site, and we're going to create a page. So we're going to start with the basics. We have these widgets over here on the side, and these are all of the different features that you have to be used on your website, and they're pre-made. If you're part of a team, you have the team widget. So if I put that on there, you'll see basically what it looks like. You have the different photos. With each widget, once you put the widget on and you click configure widget, that's where you can edit all of the information inside there. Now this account doesn't have a team, but if you're part of a team, it'll be in this drop down, and then you can put the photos in there. You can change the basic text. You can change the order in which you see them, all of that. If you put something on, you decide you don't like it or you don't want it, that's not a problem. You could just press in the top right corner here, this trash can, and take it out. There's one other thing if needs be, because sometimes these sites can be finicky. Right next to it, right here, you can see all of the different items inside of the web page. So let me just throw some things in there just to show you. You see the drop down. So now I have body, and then I have team. So that's this new widget. So if you're having trouble getting rid of it, sometimes, like if you see now, the garbage can doesn't show up, you can actually click on it here and hit delete, or right there, and get it out. So if you're having trouble, you can do it that way. So we have a Teams widget, we have an agent profile widget, and that's going to have this basic structure where a photo, and then it's going to pull from your marketing profile, your name, and all of your bios and all of that. Get rid of that. We have a contact form, which is exactly what we've already created if you've gone through the Kelly Guide, so you don't really need that if you've already done the Kelly Guide. We have testimonials carousel, where you can click through and it scrolls through your different testimonials. Testimonial list, and it just is the same concept, but it's in a list view. And to get the testimonials on, because they'll be blank at the beginning, you'll need to put in the testimonial capture form. So once you put in the capture form and people start filling it out, then you can start populating the actual widgets themselves. A lot of people ask me, well, I have testimonials in other places, how do I get them on there? Really, when it comes down to it, you're going to need to ask them to either fill in the new testimonial site information, or if it's okay with the person, you can copy and paste over what they said into the new testimonial capture form. We have here a company profile, and that's what we saw before, the about my company section. So it'll be the same kind of concept. We have and download my app, which is basically going to link them straight to your phone app. Now, one thing to note as well with this, if they're on a computer, this isn't really going to do anything. They're going to need to be on a phone to be able to download the phone app, because it's going to take them to either the App Store, the Play Store, or whatever, Microsoft Store, respectively. I think it only works in the Play Store and the App Store, though. So there's that. Now, the cool thing about these widgets is they're not specifically delegated to what they say. So agent profile, if I click configure widget here for the agent profile, I don't have to make it an agent profile. I can make this whatever I want it to be. I can customize it to say whatever I want. The photo, I can make it say whatever I want it to say. Give me a second here. Let me actually go out and go back in. You'll find that if you have a widget that you've configured, it kind of locks it in. And so you may have to go back out and come back in.
Hey, David, do you have some examples of things that you've done with these pages that, like when you say it doesn't have to be an agent profile, do you have an example of like maybe something else that it would be?
Yeah, we can go over some of that. Let me just pull up. So I've got my kwgl.kw.com. So I've got a few. So for example, I'm using this page right now to help with recruiting. So I've got a becoming an agent page, okay? And so what I've done is I've taken that agent profile, I've added this picture here, I've changed the text up, and then I've added some images and some text into the page. And you see you got some clickable links here, and you can scroll down, and then here is a link to the CE Shop, which is an organization we work with to get for licensing school. So that's one example. So, and I'll go over a few more examples later, and so you can see if you want to further customize what else you can do. So this is a simple customization where you can edit what's in here, and then we can go a little bit more complex. Okay. So those are the widgets. If we have no questions, I'm going to move on to, we have content blocks and we have layout blocks. Now, if this is too much, don't worry. You don't have to use this. You can use what we have. And these are great. They can be customized in a lot of different ways. One of my favorite ones to use is the company profile because you have images, you have blocks of text, you have a lot of various things, and you can remove a lot of it. So you can do a lot of customization. It has a really big hero image right there that you can change to whatever you want. That's one of my favorite to use for just simple customization. But let's say that we want to do a little bit more complicated customization.
Hey, can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead. Because
I think that this is the bomb. You are so good at this, and I want people to realize what you're about to show them. And so the content blocks and the layout blocks, this is not like beginner level website stuff, and it's also something that a beginner can do, and so super easy in here. So if you guys, I would just suggest take a lot of notes right now and make sure to grab this recording later, because in my opinion, the content blocks and layout blocks is where the fun begins with websites, and all the fun things that you see other people doing, that's where you're going to find it.
Yeah.
I'm propping up the next part of this class because it's the part that, like, whenever you show me something you've done, I get so excited.
Yeah. So and it can be a little finicky. So it may take a little bit of practice on how to use it, but we'll go over kind of what you have here. A lot of these, they are a little bit difficult to use, and so I'll show you a few different things that you can do. Some of my favorites are text blocks and text selections. But you have buttons that you can add, and you have dividers, which basically they can separate the different items on the content blocks. But honestly, a lot of that can get confusing. And so what I'm going to focus on really in the content blocks are the text and the text sections. So with text, you can put this here, and then you can type in whatever you want to, and you can add that to your web page. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet, but I need to note, you have to have at least one widget on your website or else it won't publish. So a lot of people, they do all these cool customizations and then they try and save it and publish it, and it won't, because you have to have that one widget. So keep that in mind. Now the text section, that you can have a title, and then you can have the text in here, okay? And so it's the same concept. You can click in there and you can erase what's there, and you can type in whatever you want to on top of it. Now, let's say that you don't like the layout here. Let's say it's kind of off to the side and you want it to be centered a little bit. That's where we get into layout blocks. So Layout blocks, they allow you to divide up the page into smaller sections so that you can even more, you can do even more customizations as to positioning where you want certain items. So for example, we have this 1/3 section here. So I'll drop that in here. So you can see we have 3 cells. Okay. And instead of having the text here, let's delete all this text out. Well, let me get it out this way. I'm just going to take out as much as I can here. Okay. All right, so we'll put in this 1/3 section if I can. There we go. Those 3 blocks there. And so I'll go back to content blocks and I'll put my text there. So now it's been centralized. And so the text is going to stay in the middle. Okay. If you want a text section, you can do that as well, and you can keep it kind of centralized, and that makes it a little bit nicer. You can have half sections where you have a side here and a side here, and so you can put different items inside here. You can put an image there, and then select an image from your desktop, and then maybe, you know, a quotation here. And so this is where you can start to see the capabilities of all of what you can do. And let's get rid of all this here, and I'll show you a few more things. So to get a little bit more complicated, we'll throw this down so we have our 3 cells.
David, I don't know if it's Zoom or if it's your screen, but will you just go really slow when you're doing it? Because it looks like your mouse is bouncing around, and sometimes it's hard to tell what you're clicking on and what you're doing. And it may be Zoom and not you, but that would be helpful, I think.
Sure.
Really cool.
This again is the 1/3 section, so we've divided into thirds. But this section, it's basically divided into thirds as well. So they each take up a certain percentage, 33.33% of the screen. But let's say you want one to be wider. You want this middle one to be wider. If you click on it here, we have this paintbrush tool right here. And then you can actually change the dimension. So right now the width is 33.33333%. So let's say you want it to, you know, just be 50%. You can do it that way. And then it extends it out, okay? Or you could even do it in what we call pixels. And so each screen is made up of a bunch of pixels. So we could say, you know, 500 px, which stands for pixels. And then it will be exactly that width. And so you could do that to each of the items on the page and adjust it even further. And just, there's a lot you can do. I could spend a whole hour just talking about all the different features that you can do in here. But instead of doing that, there's one other thing that I want to talk about when it comes to pages. I want to talk about iframes. And there are a lot of things that people have shown. If you look on YouTube, you can find a lot of them. People have been able to put in a lot of different school locators and mortgage calculators and all these things using iframes to put them on their websites. And you can absolutely do that, and it's really neat. But I'm actually going to show you how to do that using one of the current widgets, because that's the easiest way to do it, and you can change it real time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this widget here. I'm going to configure the widget, and I'll show you what iframes do. So one of the easiest ways to get an iframe is a YouTube video. So let's say you want to put a YouTube video in. Let's go to youtube.com. Let's see what comes up here. Pull up this video by Scott Leroy Marketing. Okay. If you hit the share button at the bottom of the screen, we have embed. So this is the embed code, and you see that tag there. It says iframe. You just take that whole tag, hit copy, or you can hit the copy button down there too. We can bring it over, and you can literally just text this iframe code in any of these text boxes here. Okay. Then if I hit save and apply, scroll down, And there is the YouTube video, okay? So like I said, I've seen mortgage calculators, I've seen a lot of different things. I'm gonna actually show you one that I thought was pretty neat. A lot of people, they want to put on their website information about a house, but they want people to fill out a form before it actually takes them to that property. And so what I did was I created a Google form here, and I just made a required field. So basically they put in their first name, they put in their last name, they're required, and then they hit next, and it'll take them to a link. So I'm gonna put this Google form into the Keller Williams site. So we can do this, we'll hit send. And then we have the iframe code ready to go right here. So we'll hit copy. We'll come back to our site and we'll do exactly that again. We'll go into this main body. I'll show you real quick. This agent bio section. And then we'll paste that iframe in. And then you can see that that is there. The test form is there. And the cool thing is with this test form, I'll fill it out real quick. David, oh, that's a phone number. Let's do, hit next. There's the link to an actual landing page for a property that I created not too long ago. So they have to know, they have to fill out that form to get to the property information. And that information will go to your Gmail account. So that's the simple version of what you can do with iframes inside of a web page. Now, I'm going to go into, and this is going to be a lot higher on the complicated scale. It's not impossible. Don't feel like it's something that you wouldn't want to even try. It's fun to mess around with, and you can really do some neat things on your website using these iframes. So I'm going to show you an example of what can be done. I'm not going to go too much into it just for time constraints, because I want to make sure we cover everything that we need to on the site. But I'm going to go, this is my kwgl.kw.com website. I'm going to click on this Meet the Team page. Okay, so I customized my own. Now, if you have any sort of web development skills, which I'm still a beginner, so you don't need to know that much, but you can actually build your own website, and you can put it into an iframe and then put it on the Keller Williams website. So if you've seen the Meet the Team page before, you have the same basic structure as here, except you can't really click on anything. It's just information. So what I've done is I've made my own Meet the Team page, imported it with an iframe the same way that I showed you. And, but I have other features, like if you hover over, you see that red ring that goes around them. I can actually click on the image of the person and it will pull up their bio and their website. It'll pull up all that information for each one of these people. Another thing is it's responsive to a phone. So if you notice, my screen is smaller now, and all of the people have gone in line instead of blocked out. And if I stretch my screen out, it goes to 2. And if I stretch it this way, it goes to 3. And so you've got customization there. Now, one of my favorite things, and it took me a long time to figure this out, but I finally did. If you look down at the bottom, we've got this chat widget. Now, this is a live chat widget. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on it. And I'm going to type something in like, hello. So using HubSpot is the program I chose to use for this chat bot, but it actually has a phone app as well. So I have on my phone, if you can see on my face, I got a notification, so I can actually click on that notification, and it's live again, so this is real time. So I'll open my HubSpot app, and then I can respond, and I'll just type in test, and then send. And you can see live, you've got test and response, and you can have this set up to send you emails or just phone notifications in general. And so this is the power of a website. So one thing I'm going to show you is that sometimes you don't have an iframe to embed. So with YouTube and with this Google form, they already created the iframe. So sometimes there isn't an iframe for you, so you need to create one. Well, you can go to, there's a lot of websites, but I'll show you one. Let's just do, I'll just have an iframe generator. There we go. This is, I think, the one I like to use right here. So basically what you do is you take the URL, which is the website address of whatever you want it to be. So if we go back to this test form, I can even put this one in there, copy, and then I'll paste the URL in there and hit generate, and there's my iframe. And you could take that and copy and paste it right into your KW website and do it. So if you have a website somewhere else, or if you built a website, you just need to find hosting. You can stick it inside that iframe. You can put it in any text box, or even one of those text fields that you can create from the content blocks. You just put it there and it'll populate. One thing to note is with the width and the height. So if you look at width and height, you've got 600, and this is pixels, and this is 400 pixels. You're probably going to want to use, at least with the width, height is a little more complicated, but at least with the width, you want to do 100% or a percentage in general. And basically what that means is it will take up 100% of the width of the screen. So if you're on a phone, 100% is going to be small. If you're on a computer desktop, 100% is going to be big. And so it will stretch and shrink depending on that. And you can change that here, or you can just go into the code itself and you can erase that 400px and you can replace it with 100%, or the width, the 600px, you can replace it with a percent. And there are a lot of cool things that you can do with that. I'll show you another one that I was really happy about that I did. So we'll pull it up, and I don't know if you can see it through Zoom, but if you notice the water is running, this is a video. This is an actual video that I've embedded as the background of the KW website. And so this is actually pretty powerful. You can do a lot of things. It's not the same as building a website from scratch. It's easier than that. So you don't have to worry too much about it, but it's a way that you can get some really neat customization and without having to pay $1,800 or $2,000 to a developer to do it for you. And really, you don't even need to pay for Squarespace or Wix or any of those hosting platforms, because there are free hosting platforms that you can use. There's glitch.com, which is one that I like to use because you can see real-time updates. It can be a little slow. GitHub is a really common one for a lot of people to use, and you can put the website on there and just iframe it into your KW website. One last thing that I want to show you, and then I'll just open it up to any other questions. A lot of people ask me if they want to put links to other websites in their KW website. So let's say you have a landing page and you want it to link to your KW website, or vice versa. You have KW web page that you want to link to another page. I'm going to share with you guys just a couple of pieces of code, and I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. And I can share, I have it on a Google document, so I can just share that Google document with you guys if you'd like, just so you can see it. Actually, I'm going to pull it over and show it to you right here. So if you look here, a couple of things. We have a clickable text, and then we have clickable buttons. So I've got a color key here with blue, the blue text here, that's the website. So you just literally erase what's in here and replace it with whatever website you want. And then the red is what text is going to appear. So you just replace that with whatever text you want to be clickable. So right now we have open house, and we have a link to that open house. This next one is the same thing, but instead of opening it within your website, it'll open it in a new page. This is a button, and this is a button in a new window. And I'll just copy all of this, literally all of it. And the KW sites can actually read all this code, so you don't have to worry about formatting or anything like that. So I'm going to hit save and apply, and I'll show you basically what that looks like. So you see there, that's clickable text. So if I click on the first one, it opens inside. Oh, I actually have to publish the page. Let's publish it first. Okay. New page is fine. Go ahead and save that. All right. So here's the website I just built, and we'll show you all these clickable links down here. So if I click on this one, it opens up inside my Keller Williams website. So it all stays in the same page, and then they can just hit back to go back. Now, if you want to go in a new window, click there, and it goes in the new window. And you can put whatever text you want in there. It could say "click me," it could say "click here," it could be the name of the page or whatever. Now here's a button, same thing. You can change it from saying "click here" to whatever you want to. But if I click on that button, it'll take me to a page inside the Keller Williams website. And if I click here, it'll open it in a new window. Okay. I think that's it. I don't have a lot more time. Do we have any questions? Let's see.
Hey, David, we have a couple of questions. Let's see. So somebody asked if you could, on the Meet the Team, let me see. I'm looking to see. You do your Meet the Team page, and you did that outside of Command, and they were wondering if you could talk about how you did that and maybe show them how to do that. I don't know if that's something you'd have time to do now, or if you want to make a video later.
I've got time if you guys have time, but I don't want to go past the 12 because
you are good. You're good. We have about 9 minutes left. 8 minutes. And this is recorded, so they can always rewind and rewatch.
Oh, good. Okay. So basically, what you need to do is you need to find a place to put the website. So with the Meet the Team page, normally what you do is you have to pay for space on the internet, and then you have to pay a developer to build the website for you. So I'm going to show you one, and it's probably the easiest to use, and that is Glitch. And I'll show you where I built it and what I did. So you need to create an account with Glitch, and then I'm going to hit resume coding, but you'll need to start it. So I've got a lot of stuff going on in here. So what I'll point out is what's important is that you have this something.html file. That's what you're needing to make, and that's what you're going to want to use. So I'm going to show you basically what this is going to look like here. So we'll do Meet the Team. No, what is it? It's our team. Yeah. .html. Okay. So you can see here, I just built a website. Okay. So all of this is, I coded it in. So I have an our team.html and our team.css. So if you don't know HTML and CSS, it can be confusing to do. So you may want to avoid that or pay somebody to do it. But the chat widget here, that's easy. And I'll show you how to do that. You have this our team.html file, and with HubSpot, and you can use whatever chat widget you want to, they all have embed code. Down here, they gave me this script right here. So it starts in the script tag. This is the embed code. So you can literally just copy and paste it. Let me see if I have an example. Yeah, right here. You can literally just copy and paste it in, and then it appears on the website. Okay, so right here we've got a david.html. So let's open that in a new window. So it's glitchme /david.html. That's the web address. That's the URL. So if I go there, all it is a chat box, and it's functioning and it works. So let's say you want to put this on your website. You do it the exact same way. You take this, copy it, you go to your iframe generator, you paste the code here, okay, you generate it, and there you go. You've got an iframe with a chatbot. So I could just literally take that, and I can add it to any of those pages just like I showed you before. And so what you could do is you could just add it to the bottom of whatever page you want it to be. There's not a lot of responsiveness in it, and so you won't have it move. If you look at my page here, it stays in the bottom right corner there. You won't see features like that because the KW sites don't read that, but it'll be there. It'll be there right at the bottom. And so it's as simple as that. So if you want to just go as basic as you want to, just find the embed code, paste it right there, and you have your website address, and you just do it the same way I explained before. If you do know HTML and CSS and you can build your own website, just build your own website, use free hosting. I would suggest GitHub. Let's see. GitHub, yeah. So I suggest GitHub because it's faster and it's a really good place to put all of your code if you're a little more tech savvy. If not, use Glitch, and this is a super simple way to do it. And it's really as easy as that.
So David, that's like mind blowing, and I love this every time you show this to me, and you always say it's as simple as that, and that is so above like so many people, and me. And when I say so many people, I don't mean it in a poor way towards anybody else, but I just absolutely love this, and you broke it down really, really well today. And I just want to say to everybody that is like me and maybe a little more, not, I don't want to say tech savvy because I am pretty tech savvy, but into programming and things such as that. David's going to be teaching in the region, and he and I are in talks to do some different things. So you're going to get more of this. And so just when you see the advertisements for his class, my request is that if you've watched him today, you can tell he knows what he's doing to do some really fun things on your website. Tell your other agents to come and listen to what he's doing, and he'll break this down for you very slowly, and so that you guys can recreate all of this. So we're going to have that coming really soon, as well as all of the other tech trainers in the region coming to teach some special stuff. So make sure to tune in for that. And they're really getting to where they're experts in certain areas and really can guide you. So that's awesome, David. I really love this. You know I do, because I tell you that all the time.
Right. I really like doing it too. So if you guys want to reach out to me, if I've got time, I'm more than happy to help you guys figure some of it out and work through some of the website stuff. It's probably my favorite part of Command, just because it's what I enjoy. It's what I'm studying and things like that. So.
Well,